Welcome into the Set It Off Network, and it is the best week in college football. It is officially rivalry week, and man, the matchups this weekend are just amazing. Always are. But we got to kick off our game previews with arguably the best rivalry in the SEC. That is Auburn versus Alabama, the Iron Bowl. And this year, the matchup on paper is not going to look great. Auburn has had their struggles. They are 5-6 this season. Alabama 9-2, and you're probably thinking, well, record-wise, these teams aren't very comparable, right? And you're right. They're not. If we played this game on paper, Alabama will win 10 times out of 10. I wouldn't even give them the one out of the 10. It would be bad. Auburn is not a great football team, but Auburn is still a very talented football team. They have very good players. They just don't do a very good job of executing. And that is the biggest problem that they have had this year. Like I said, 5-6. This game is going to be on Saturday night. I know it's hard to keep track of everything on Thanksgiving weekend. You lose track of all your days and everything like that. What games are on Friday? What games are on Saturday? This one is Saturday night. ABC 7:30 game Eastern time. For Alabama, this game's huge. Alabama, this game is a win and you are in the playoffs, a win and you are in the SEC championship. So no bigger stakes for Kalen DeBoer and company for Alabama than this weekend when they hit the road to go to Jordan-Hare, which has not been very kind to the Crimson Tide. They've walked away with some wins over the last couple times they've been there, but man, if you don't remember, the fourth and forever, and then the 4 overtime classic that they played just a couple years ago. So, I mean, this matchup when it goes to Jordan-Hare, something crazy happens. Like every single time, like you can just count on it. And right now, if I told you the line for this game, what would you think it would be? Like honestly, think in your head. Without looking? What would you say? Alabama 7.5. Alabama 8, 9.5. This game is Alabama minus 3.5. Minus 3.5. So we're talking about a field goal football game that Vegas thinks this game's going to be. They know how crazy it is at Auburn. And Auburn might be just playing the best football that they've played all season long. I mean, don't get me wrong, the competition, wasn't great this past weekend. But Deuce Knight showed you some things. Like that he can throw some wrinkles into this offense. This offense put up points, which it hasn't done a lot of, no matter who they were playing. And now you're looking at back-to-back games, even against Vanderbilt in that loss, they still played extremely well offensively. Deuce Knight started the Mercer game for Auburn, but this is Ashton Daniels' show. He was kept out of this game for eligibility reasons, so he's going to obviously return next week for the Iron Bowl as a starting quarterback. And he's played well. And you look at this Auburn offense, and granted, like they have a deficiencies in a lot of places, but one place they don't have a deficiency is wide receiver. Eric Singleton Jr. and Cam Coleman, probably the most talented duo, maybe outside of the two on the other side of this football game, and Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams. But this offense has the potential. Like Ashton Daniels, like I said, has played extremely well. In the games that he's played, you just really have to find a play here, a play there. We all know Alabama is, the better team on paper, and it's going to take some things for Auburn to win this football game that obviously have to go their way. But Auburn's a top 30 team on defense in most categories. So you have a team that's really good at stopping the run. Obviously, that doesn't really bode well for this football game because Alabama just does not run the football at a good rate against anybody. So it's kind of a moot point when you talk about Alabama and their run game and against Auburn's run defense, because Alabama wouldn't run the ball against anybody. So I mean, that's been their MO all season long. But Auburn can get after the quarterback. 26 sacks on the season for Auburn. That's good for top 25 in the nation right now. So they should be able to get after Ty Simpson. And we saw an Oklahoma defense that had a lot of success with that. Now, DJ Durkin being the head coach, how does that change the defense? How does that change how it's called? I don't really know the dynamics there, but I will say that DJ Durkin running this team, the defense has been worse, believe it or not. Granted, it's not a very big sample size, but against Vanderbilt, they gave up a ton of points. I think it was 48 or something like that they gave up against them. Alabama's going to have potential here. Because while we talked about Auburn's defense, they do struggle in the back end. They're missing some guys on defense that could help in that category. But not only that, it's going to be a problematic matchup because of the fact that we mentioned earlier. Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams are studs. Ty Simpson, when he is on, is a very great quarterback. Honestly, one of the best in the country. So you have that dynamic going on for this matchup, and everything kind of points towards Alabama. But why is the spread -3.5? It's -3.5 because it is Jordan-Hare. It is Auburn and Alabama. Like, everything is on the line in this football game. And you want to talk about pressure. You want to talk about real pressure. We've talked about it previously on other shows. But Kalen DeBoer is under a substantial amount of pressure in this football game. Like, more pressure than Auburn will be. Auburn's playing with house money. They have the potential to go to a bowl game, but they have a potential to ruin Alabama's season, keep them out of the SEC championship, keep them out of the playoff. Like, there is nothing more that Auburn would want than winning this football game. And you don't think that environment's going to be charged up for this kind of game? Kalen DeBoer is going to have his hands full. And we know how Kalen DeBoer has performed against unranked teams, especially unranked teams on the road. That has been a struggle. From day one since he stepped foot on campus in Tuscaloosa, we saw this team last year go to Oklahoma and get smoked by a terrible Oklahoma team. And I know it sounds like we just keep bringing the same thing up. Well, we have to bring it up because it happened. Granted, the sample size for Kalen DeBoer's tenure at Alabama is not very high, but we have seen him go on the road against unranked teams and struggle. Go look at the South Carolina game. They just played a couple weeks ago. They struggled in that football game, and honestly, probably should have lost that football game. Auburn's going to be a different animal. So you're looking at -3.5. Auburn's looking at an opportunity to do some damage to a bitter rival in Alabama. Now, this game, I'm gonna go out on a limb, man. I'm gonna say Auburn gets it done, man. I really think that if Auburn can really get to tie and make this team get in those third and longs, those very uncomfortable downs, Ty's turned the ball over against Oklahoma. Had a pick, had a fumble. If Auburn can get to him, they can make his life kind of miserable back there. LSU was kind of able to get the tie as well. Probably better than any team outside of Oklahoma. And is that a testament to how the offensive line is playing, or is that just, the schemes? I don't know. I think Auburn's going to win. I think the pressure on this game, the pressure on Kalen DeBoer is going to be too much for Alabama. And you've heard Kalen DeBoer's name thrown around in coaching circle hats, and maybe that he wants out of Alabama. I don't know. I don't believe any of that Penn State stuff, but it's out there. He's reading it. The team's reading it. Alabama has everything to play for in this football game. There are going to be some nervous energy in that football game. I can honestly see a world where Alabama wins this game by 2 touchdowns, but you can also convince me it's going to take a lot of things. It's going to take some turnovers. It's going to take some balls bouncing Auburn's direction, but I think Auburn's going to get it done. So I'm going to make my prediction, and I'm going to pick Auburn to win this football game. And I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go 18-17. Auburn gets it done. Walk-off field goal in Jordan-Hare to ruin Alabama's season and keep them out of the postseason. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you check us out on all social media. Make sure you check out the rest of our game previews throughout Rivalry Week and keep updated on reactions as we steam towards the postseason in college football. But most of all, we want you to subscribe. Subscribing does nothing for you. It does everything for us. It keeps the so-called lights on around here. We're trying to build this thing. We've had good progress so far, but we want to see you subscribe. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're telling everybody about it, and spreading the word and spreading the joy. And hopefully everybody has a great Thanksgiving and a good holiday.